Hello, today I'll show you how to make a classic Pong game in Scratch. As you can see, this is a starter screen, and if you click one player, it will use a bot to try and hit the ping pong ball. And if you do two player, then you will use two controls, W, S, and the up and down arrow keys. So let's get started. First, delete the cat and paint a sprite. Name the sprite Start Screen. Then, use the text tool, make it any font you want, and make the fill white. Now type in Classic Pong. Now, go into Backdrops, use the box tool, make the fill black, drag it. Now, name this Start Screen, then duplicate this and name it Game. Use the box tool, make the fill white, then draw a tiny line, something like this. Then, make it a good size, place it in the middle, copy pastel, place it in the middle, press shift to snap it on to its x-axis, then repeat a few times until it looks something like Now after you're done with this, go back into the Start Screen, Costumes, name this one Title, and make it a good size. Something like this. Now paint a new costume named 1P or 1 player. Use the box tool, make the fill black, and make the outline white with a good thickness. Then drag out a rectangle and make it a good size. Something like this and something like this. Then use the text tool, make the fill white, and type in 1 player and place it in the middle. Now duplicate this, name it 2P or 2 player, and then 2 player, and place it in the middle. Now, when green flag is clicked, hide, then switch background to Start Screen. Then create a variable named Game Mode for all sprites, set Game Mode to 0, and then create a new block named Create Start Screen. Run without screen refresh. Then switch costume to Title, and then actually go to 080, create a new variable named ID for the sprite only, set ID to T, and then create a clone of myself, T for Title, and make sure it's lowercase. Now duplicate this, switch costume to 1P, go to 00, ID would be 1P, lowercase. And then duplicate this one more time. 2p 0 negative 70, and then 2p up lowercase. Now when I start as a clone, show forever if else mouse pointer touching mouse pointer, set brightness to 50, change size by divide, subtract 3 120, and then in the middle will be size. Now duplicate this, and in the else it will be 0 and then 100. Now if mouse down, and then another if equal if. Oh yeah, and also make sure that there's another if on top of the if touching mouse pointer. I mean if else, and then this one will be if id contain p. Now if mouse down, if id equals 1p, then set game mode to 1, broadcast new message start, and then stop this script. Now duplicate this, id 2p, game mode 2, and then that will be the same. Now in this last else, also known as the title part, change y by 1 times sine of another times timer times 180. Now if you test it, as you can see, it creates a nice start screen. Now when I receive start, then we will switch backdrop to game, create 2 new variables called P1 or player 1, P2 or player 2, and that will be their points. Now hide the variables, actually show the variables, show P1 and show P2. Then repeat 10 times, change ghost by 10, and then lastly delete this clone. Now if you test it, if you click player 1 and also show game mode would be 1, and then this would be 2. Now create a new, and actually before anything, drag player 2 and player 1 to here, so it looks something like this. Now paint a new sprite named game. Use the box tool, make sure the fill is white and no outline. Then create a rectangle, make it a good size, something like this, and name it player. Paint another paint another costume named ball. Use the box tool, press shift and create a ball, or a square actually, and then make it a good size. Now in the code, when green flag is clicked, hide variable 1p and hide variable 2p, p1 and p2. Now hide and set both of them to 0. Now when I receive start, set rotation style to don't rotate, and then create a new variable named player speed for this sprite only. Set player speed to 2, and then create a new block named start game. Run without screen refresh. Now point in direction 90, switch costume to player, create a new variable named ID for this sprite only, and then set ID to P1 or player 1, then go to -215 0. Create a clone of myself. Now duplicate this part, switch costume to still player. Actually, we don't need that. Then set ID to P2, this time 215 instead of negative, and this will stay the same. Now if else equal pick random 1 to 2 equals 1, then point in direction, pick random, and then 60 to 120, duplicate this time do -120 to -60. Now create a new variable named ball speed for this sprite only. Set ball speed to 5, then go to 0 0, and then switch costume to ball and create a clone of myself. Oh yeah, and also make sure to set ID to B for ball before creating a clone of myself. Now when I start as a clone, we will do a show and then a forever, and then a if, and then ID equals P1, and then another if else, game mode equals 1, then create a new variable named y for this sprite only. Change y by, and then we create another new variable named ball y for all sprites. Now change y by, and then a divide, subtract. Now in here we do pick random 5 to 10, and then in the left we will do ball y subtracted by y. Then set y to y. Now in the else, if it was 2 player, I will do change change y by, and then a multiply by player speed, and then a subtract, key W pressed, subtracted by key S pressed times player speed. Then set y to to y times 0.8. And then change y by y. Now, after this, in the other else, we will do if id equals b, then set ball y to y position. Then if touching, and then actually go into start screen. If touching game, drag this into game, and now you have a legal block. So now if touching game, then point in direction, and then direction plus pick random -20 to 20 times -1 in the left, like this. Now set ball speed to 10 and then move by ball speed. Now another if touching edge, then another two ifs. Now if x position is greater than 220, then set ball speed to 5, change P1 or player 1 to 1, go to 0, 0, and point in direction 90. Now duplicate this, place it under, this time change it to less than, and then x position is less than -220, then change P2 by 1 and point in direction -90. Lastly, under that, actually under two of these, as you can see, two of these, it will be if on edge, bounce, and then move by ball speed. Oh yeah, and also make sure that in the if id equals p1, make sure that there's another if else id equals p2, and then duplicate this, change y by key up arrow and subtract it by key down arrow, and then the last else will be in here. Oh yeah, and also make sure this is id equals b. Now if you test it, as you can see, now you have Pong. And if you want to play with a friend, then you can. Now you have Pong. Thank you for watching and have a fantastic day.